Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can you hear us? Our camera. Yeah. Can you hear us, Prabhu?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Give me a minute. It started.
Yes, Prabhu.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yamuna Tiravanatari.
Yamuna Tiravanatari.
Yamuna Tiravanatari.
Yamuna Tiravanatari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tiravanachari.
Yamuna Tiravanachari.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
Narayana Namaskritya
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Shaivanarottam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Tato Jayamudiraye
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
Ashtaprayesvakatesu
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके
भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम्
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम्
शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम्
शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम्
पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम्।
पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम्
मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः।
मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
सर्वपापप्रणाशनम्
सर्वपापप्रणाशनम्
प्रणामदुःखशमन
प्रणामदुःखशमना
तं नमामि हरिं परम्।
तं नमामि हरिं परम्।
Reading from first canto, second chapter, 20th shloka, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Sorry?
28. 20 Prabhu, 20 sloka.
20th, right? Okay. You can repeat after me. Evam prasanna manaso
Evam prasanna
प्रसन्नमनसो
Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha
Bhagavat Bhakti Yoga
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam
भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Mukta Sangasya Jayate
मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते
Evam prasanna manaso
एवं प्रसन्नमनसो
Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam
भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Mukta Sangasya Jayate.
मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते
So page number
108.
प्रभु
sorry 108. 110.
Does someone want to read?
एवं प्रसन्नमनसो
Evam prasanna manaso
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha
भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam
मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते
Mukta Sangasya Jayate.
एवं प्रसन्न मनसो
Evam prasanna
प्रसन्नमनसो
manaso
भगवद्भक्ति योगतः
Bhagavad Bhakti
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Yogataha
भगवत्तत्त्व विज्ञानम्
Bhagavad Tattva
तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Vijnanam
मुक्त संगस्य जायते
Mukta
Mukta
Sangasya
Sangasya
Jayate.
Jayate.
Evam prasanna manaso Evam prasanna manaso
प्रसन्नमनसो
Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam
भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Mukta Sangasya Jayate Mukta Sangasya
मुक्तसङ्गस्य
Jayate
जायते
Evam prasanna manaso
एवं
Evam prasanna
प्रसन्नमनसो
Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Bhakti
भगवद्भक्तियोगतः
Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Bhagavat Tattva
भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
Mukta Sangasya Jayate
मुक्त संगस्य
मुक्तसङ्गस्य
जायते
जायते
Okay. Evam.
Evam
Thus.
Thus
Prasanna.
प्रसन्न
Enlivened.
Evam
Manasaha.
Manasaha
Of the mind.
of the mind
Bhagavad Bhakti.
Bhagavat Bhakti
The devotional service of the Lord.
the devotees of Sachinandana
Yogataha.
Yogataha
By contact of.
by contact of
Bhagavat.
Bhagavat
Regarding the personality of Godhead.
regarding the personality of God
Tattva.
Tattva
Knowledge.
knowledge
Vijnanam.
Vijnanam
Scientific.
scientific
Mukta.
Mukta
Liberated.
related
Sangasya.
Sangasya
Of the association.
of the association
Jayate.
Jayate
Becomes effective.
becomes effective.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai is established in the mode of unalloyed goodness. The man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of God in the stage of liberation from all material contamination. Purport: in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that out of the many thousands of ordinary men, one fortunate man endeavors for perfection in life. Mostly men are connected by the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus they are always engaged in lust, desire, hankerings, ignorance, and sleep. Out of many such man-like animals, there is actually a man who knows the responsibility of human life and thus tries to make life perfect by following the prescribed duties. And out of many thousands of such persons who have thus attained success in human life, one may know scientifically about the personality of God Sri Krishna. The same Bhagavad Gita 18.55, it is also said that scientific knowledge of Shri Krishna is understood only by the process of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. The very same thing is confirmed here in the above words. No ordinary man or even who has attained success in human life can know scientifically or perfectly the personality of Godhead. Perfection of human life is attained when one can understand that he is not a product of matter. Perfection of human life is attained when one can understand that he is not a product of matter, but is in fact spirit. And as soon as one understands that he has nothing to do with matter, he at once ceases his material hankerings and becomes enlivened as a spiritual being. This attainment of success is possible when one is above the modes of passion and ignorance. Or in other words, when one is actually a Brahmana by qualification. A Brahmana is a symbol of Sattva-guna or the mode of goodness, and others who are not in the mode of goodness are either Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, or less than the Shudras. The Brahminical stage is the highest stage of human life because of its good qualities. So one cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a Brahmana. A devotee is already a Brahmana by action, but that is not the end of it. As referred to above, such a Brahmana has to become a Vaishnava, in fact, to be actually in the transcendental stage. A pure Vaishnava is a liberated soul and is transcendental even to the position of a Brahmana. In the material stage, even a Brahmana is also a conditioned soul, because although in the Brahminical stage the conception of Brahman or transcendence is realized, scientific knowledge of the Supreme Lord is lacking. One has to surpass the Brahminical stage and reach the Vasudeva stage to understand the personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hence, the personality of Godhead is subject matter for study by the postgraduate students in the spiritual line. Foolish men or men with a poor fund of knowledge do not understand the Supreme Lord and they interpret Krishna according to their respective whims. The fact is, however, that one cannot understand the science of personality of Godhead unless one is freed from the contamination of material modes, even up to the stage of a Brahmana. When a qualified Brahmana actually becomes a Vaishnava in the enlivened stage of liberation, he can know what is actually the personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Gatapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasetam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shri Vishankamnitamsta He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते कृपालमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनकारुण्यं परमानन्दं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं श्री हरिः ओम् तत्सत्. So thank you. Apologies for not being able to join in person. And whoever can come on video, I see 60. Whoever can come on video, welcome to come. So you'll have a little more Anyonyam experience.
Sachinandana Prabhu is
Not
there.
just in NGD, but everywhere. Even from your houses. Yeah. Okay, a very nice shloka, like all these shlokas are. So we must understand the Bhagavatam we are reading, we are touching, we are associating, is the prasadam of previous Acharyas. And these prasadam is enjoyed by the Acharyas who came after that. And that prasadam was enjoyed by the Acharyas who came after that. In this way, it has been touched by so many people. Sometimes when we go to big festivals, they bring prasadam of great devotees and they say, do you want to take the Mahaprasadam of this and this devotee? And then someone honors and the same prasadam that went onto that plate again becomes honored by someone else. Though from a materialistic standpoint, mundane standpoint, this might, I mean, even from a Shastric, Vedic standpoint, the leftovers of someone is actually usually tamasic. We see this in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna mentions, Uchishtham apichamedhyam. Uchishtha means that which is left by someone else. Uchishtham apichamedhyam. Tamasa bhojana tamasa priyam. Bhojanam, which is uchishtham, usually we don't take. But the same bhojanam, which is uchishtham, is how someone became very advanced. But he got the uchishtham of great devotees. And devotees, all of you know who that is. Correct? Who became very advanced by eating the uchishtham of someone.
Narada Muni.
Yes, very nice. So Narada Muni became very advanced. Narada Muni became Narada Muni by eating honoring the uchishtham of the Bhakti Vedantins, right? So similarly, this Bhagavatam that we are reading is also the uchishtham of Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And this has been tasted by those who came after him, Parikshit Maharaj, and in this way, who came after them, then Mahaprabhu, and then Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Gadadhar Pandit. So in this way, we are reading the uchishtham of all these great Mahajans. And then we are also trying to understand the uchishtham of Srila Prabhupada. So in this way, we must have great pride, great happiness that we are not eating directly. We are not honoring this Mahaprasadam of Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We are eating because Bhagavatam is not saying, please hear Bhagavatam. The way Bhagavatam starts is that Pipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Pipata, Pipata. Pipata means drink this Bhagavatam. Why should this be drunk? Because it is intoxication. Madam. Right? Sometimes what happens is that the bees, they take honey, and after taking honey, they become intoxicated. Right? Similarly, the bees, the Nirmatsaranam, the sadhu, the devotees, they are going to the honey portion, right? So the best part of the flower, as far as the bee is concerned, is the honey. Correct? So similarly, the bee-like devotees, they go to the nectar-like Bhagavatam. And when they drink this nectar, they get intoxicated. And when they get intoxicated, they cannot do any more activities. Right? They cannot do any more activities. Right? In this way, they become intoxicated by love for Godhead. So, Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. So, the Rasikas are constantly drinking this stream of nectar coming in the form of Bhagavatam. So, why is it nectar? Is it mere an exaggeration? Enough of exaggeration. Come to the point. If someone says like this, then the answer is we have this, beginning the Bhagavatam, there is stream of the shlokas. What is it? There is always this question whether there is God or there is no God. Perpetually in the minds of those who are contaminated by the modes. And always there is a debate on what constitutes success. We are always doubtful about the idea of success. So there are differing views of success. Someone says you have your work-life balance, that is success. Someone says you have a happy family, they say that is success. Someone says you don't have any family, that is success. Someone says you don't get married, that is success. Someone says you don't have children, that is success. Someone says you have children, that is success. So in this way, there are different conceptions of success. So we are perpetually doubtful. So Bhagavatam puts an end to all these confusions of the definitions of success. Like I mentioned in the last class, right? Clarity is the beginning of success. Right? When we can understand what constitutes reality. You see? So previous shloka talked about when we are freed from oscillations of defining something. Tada rajastamo bhavaha kama lobhadayaschaye. There is rajastamo bhavam. Tada, it will go away. Kada, when you hear Bhagavatam continuously, tada rajastamo bhava. At that point of time, rajastamo bhavam goes away from your heart. When we hear Bhagavatam continuously, Ashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam Bhagavata sevaya, by serving Srimad Bhagavatam, which is coming from as a prasadam of great devotees, when we serve this Bhagavatam in this mood, Bhukta Bhoga Parityakta, I am enjoying the remnants. Bhukta Bhoga Parityakta. What Parityakta means? Whatever was left for me, I am enjoying. So when one is enjoying the remnants of Bhagavan and the remnants of Bhagavatas, then one becomes a devotee. So if we are in this mood, have the Shraddha, I want to erase this Rajastamo Bhavam. If I don't erase Rajastamo Bhavam, what will happen? You will be in perpetual confusion about everything in life. You can never come to a conclusion about anything in life. Okay? You will always be doubtful, you will be agnostic, you will always have questions, you will not know what to do next. You will be doubtful about yourself, you will be doubtful about others, doubtful about relationships, doubtful about what to leave, what to get, prapyam, tyajyam, bhogyam, grahyam. What to accept is grahyam. Tyajyam means what to give up, that is tyajyam. In this way, what is grahyam, what is tyajyam will always be a matter of perpetual doubt for everyone. This is the nature of everyone in this world. People do not know when to touch, when to not touch, when to leave, when to not leave, when to talk, when to not talk. Everyone, everywhere there is doubt. And this will continue as long as there is Rajastamo Bhavam. So there is a disease and the symptom of a disease. The disease is perpetual doubt. The disease is Rajastamo Bhavam, and the symptom of the disease is perpetual doubt. So when we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the lips of a pure devotee, Sanmukharitam, like I was mentioning yesterday, Sanmukharitam Bhavadiya Vartam, then what happens? So, Namanta Evahi, Brahmaji is telling, in the mood of great humility, we have to receive Bhagavatam. As if there is no other work when we are hearing Bhagavatam, we must give up all other work. Give up work of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. This readiness, this confidence, this Shraddha, I am going to hear Bhagavatam and all my problems are going to be solved. This is Vedanta Buddhi. Vedanta Buddhi means what? By hearing about one topic, all other problems will be solved. This is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi that Krishna mentions many places in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? This Shraddha is required to do Shravanam. If you are doing Shravanam, thinking that there is something more important to do, then there is still Rajastamo Bhavam. Don't worry, we should just, clench our teeth and then continue listening. Right? Have Shraddha and continue hearing. At some point, there will be taste. Just like when we drill the bore well, right? It will appear as if there is no water. I'm going 1 meter, 2 meters, 2.5 meters, 3 meters, no water. Then keep drilling, because very barren land, there is no water, right? But you keep drilling. There is no land. When you keep drilling, there will not be any water. It's just a matter of depth. Okay. Similarly, it is only a matter of, right, how long I'm drinking this Bhagavatam. To come to the point of perfection. So, tata rajastamo bhavaha. So, when we are hearing this Bhagavatam, rajastamo bhavaha, kama lobhadayastaya. The symptom of rajastamo bhavam is kama lobhadaya. Lobhadaya means beginning with kama, lobha, this, that. All the bad qualities are included. Okay. So, good news. Good news. What is the good news? We don't have to remove one bad quality, second bad quality. First, I'll become humble in 2 weeks. And in 3 weeks, I'll become disciplined. And then in the 4th week, I'll become tolerant. And in the 5th week, I'll become simple. 6th week, I'll be non-lazy. 7th week, I'll become, not necessary. 2 months, I'll be a brahmachari. I'll first continue control my sex urge. Another 2 months, I'll control my anger. This will not work. So Bhagavatam is telling, Kama Lobha Adayaha. Nice word. Adayaha means beginning with everything. When Kamam is the beginning, then just like, the father and mother are coming to a house, they are moving. Children will all follow. And this father and mother has a lot of children. No family planning, right? They have a lot of children, right? Headed by this Kama is the mother, right? So Rajoguna is the father. So Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Krishna Sangha Samudbhavam. He has got lot of children. Comparison, right? All of that. So many things are there. Insecurity, competitiveness, enviousness, jealousy, spite, wanting to harm someone else, urgency to get something. All these things are Rajoguna. Anxiety. Tamoguna is there. Tamoguna is also Kama Lobhadayastye. Tamo Bhavaha. So when all these are erased, what remains of you? Ask yourself. We are constantly tormented by our material desires. There are so many thoughts going in your mind. Now, I'm asking you a question. If all these desires went away from you, if all these thoughts went away from you, you ask yourself the question, what remains of me? What remains of me? What do you think? What remains of me?
Happiness.
Happiness. No, you ask, that is true, happiness, peace, true. But who am I right now? Because you know why we are afraid many of the times? Because we can't think of a person who's not a manager, who's not a Chrysler employee, who's not a GM employee, who's not a son to his father. I become afraid of identities when I'm robbed of some possessions. I'm robbed of wealth. I become afraid. Now, when all the Rajastamo Bhavam goes away from my heart, all desires go away from my heart. If there were a situation, okay, imagine, okay, what would be left of you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I would feel empty, Prabhu.
Empty. That's a good answer, honest answer. What do you think, Pradyum Prabhu?
Yeah, I would also feel empty.
You'll also feel empty. I'm sorry, I'm making you feel empty right now. So, so the thing is, this is the reality, right? When we do not know, we can't think of an identity. Okay, we have trained ourselves to think of ourselves in terms of certain desires. Okay, morning I have to check my phone. Afternoon I have to do this. Right, evening I have to do this. Right, I work my phone. Some people report to me. I report to my boss. This happens, that happens. Weekend happens. I do my clothes. I do. When all these activities stop, I can't handle myself. I don't know. I'm very afraid of me. I don't know who I am. These activities make it appear like, somehow I'm robbed by these activities. This algorithm has taken over me, and they're making me operate, and I'm conditioned. Conditioned means what? I'm reduced to those activities. Like a lion, I've given this example many times, reduced to an activity of sitting on the stool. And the lion, when it is saying go to the forest, the lion becomes like, really? I'm going to the forest? I cannot think of that. No, you are meant for the forest. No. I cannot give up all these material activities. No. I cannot give up my phone. No. I cannot give up my Instagram. No. I cannot give up gossiping. No. I cannot give up my morning sleep. No. I cannot give up this. No. I cannot give up that. So we are becoming afraid. No. I won't give up. So we are trained by dharma. So Prabhupada is saying in the very beautiful purport that normal activities means, materialistic activities means, we don't know any better. Out of many thousands of many ordinary men, Prabhupada is saying mostly men are connected by the modes of passion and ignorance. And thus they are always engaged in lust, desire, hankerings, ignorance, and sleep. This is what we know of about ourselves. And out of many such man-like animals, This is not easy. What we are doing is something revolutionary. There will be many dropouts. Krishna consciousness movements has always been about dropouts. Krishna himself says, it's not easy. Attrition is high in Krishna consciousness. Attrition at different levels. I attrition, at 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds. Many devotees attrition at 16 rounds. Okay, I've done 16 rounds, I've got initiated. Attrition. I won't make any more progress. Okay, that's it. Over. Right? The march pathway back to Godhead is a long one. Okay, it's not difficult, but it's doable. But we must have the enthusiasm to start with. When you begin, you must begin with enthusiasm. Utsaha. That is why, Srila Rupa Goswami is telling, have enthusiasm, because you're going to find the real you beyond all that you have ever known about yourself. Chetaihi etaihi anavidham. When this consciousness is absent of all the tendencies you have ever experienced, what remains is you. Stitham sattve prasidati. That real you never have known so far. That I have never known. I've constantly reduced this I to the activities of the senses which are springing forth forever, and have never known the real me. I become so agitated when I'm idle for some time for chanting. I cannot sit idle for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Something I have to do. I'm not able to find myself beyond those activities. So we are taking help of the Hare Krishna mantra. The Ashtanga yogis, the Jnana yogis, they negate these thoughts and arrive at the self. Because it's very difficult for us. One reason. Other reason is that though the Jnanis, the Ashtanga yogis, they get only to the platform impersonal Brahman, they cannot go beyond by the process of negation. They're robbing the desire. You can do it analytically also. Don't think this Krishna consciousness is not scientific. If you had a way, if you had the strength, to minus your desires, just like, as simple as going to a file and pressing Control Alt Delete. If you were to do that, okay, say if you had an access like that, if you had high-level security access to your mind, okay, if you had SSO, TSO encryption, you can cross all that, okay, de-encrypted, right, and then go all of that and delete these files. Do you know what you would see? You would see yourself. Okay, this is possible analytically also. That is the proof that it is scientific. So if you are saying I'm an illusion, then if I take away all these desires by brute force method, okay, by brute force method, this is Ashtanga yogis. These are all called Shamana. Shamana means really they take great difficulties and they stop these desires by brute force. Okay, if you were to do that, you could also come to the point of realizing who you are. That is also possible. That is the meaning of something being scientific, is it not? Right? I want to go from Michigan to Ohio, and I walk by brute force. I walked from Michigan to Ohio. If I walk for another 1 year, I will still reach Ohio. Guaranteed. I will reach Ohio. Yes, I wouldn't ever see Welcome to Ohio maybe in few months. I wouldn't see Welcome to Ohio for a few months. True. And then I'll be wondering, is there really something called Ohio? Right? But yes, if I were to walk, taking the courage to walk for a few months, yes, I would reach Ohio. Similarly, if I were to stop all these desires by brute force, I would realize who I am for true, for certain. And until I come to the realizing this point, Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. Prasidati is a very nice word. Prasidati means you are fully satisfied. You are very comfortable. Because you are being yourself after a long time. This is what we want. We want to be ourselves. Now someone has hijacked me. This is what the previous shloka talked about. Sitam Sattve Prasidati. And you become very happy. Evam Prasanna-manasaha. Prasanna-manasaha. So There are many man-like animals, and only some of them make their life perfect by following the prescribed duties. So these desires are dominating me, and I am not able to get out of this pattern. Friday is going, Saturday, Sunday is coming. Saturday, Bhakti Ruksha, Sunday morning, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 1 year, 2 years, 26, 27, 28, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Chuck, 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 it's going. And my patterns look as if they can never go away from me. And these patterns, I'm caught. Like devotees, we must understand, we are actually in a prison of these patterns. Okay? And if we don't get out of this prison, okay, then we cannot become happy. Plainly speaking, that's the truth. Now, we must wake up to this reality. We must not associate with people who are in a different type of prison. Sometimes we are in a bronze prison. Hey, that is a very nice prison. I'll go into that prison. Maybe that prison is freedom. And then we go to other, we are envious of that person's prison. Hey, you have gold chains. I have only silver chains. But chains nevertheless, right? So we must understand, first of all, this is very, very important. By personal introspection, I again repeat, by reading this and by personal introspection, you must realize it is your responsibility. No one will do this for you. No one will hand it on a platter and say, this is spiritual life. No, the responsibility is on you. Responsibility is on me to personally introspect by loudly reading these purports or whatever. Somehow, yena kena prakarena, somehow we must understand our difficult position in this world, how we have robbed ourselves of our real identity. If I don't coolly, with a calm mind, with a very sober mind, if I'm not able to reflect on it, that happens on Sattva Guna, right? Where things are a little more slow. Reflect on it, how we are entangled. And if I'm not able to do that, then pray to Krishna. Krishna, please help me understand my real position. What am I? What does the GPS say? Just like I look at the GPS and the GPS will tell me whether I'm in Michigan or I'm in India. So I can imagine that, I'm in the US, but actually I'm in India. So you look at the GPS and say, GPS will tell you, okay, the device I have is actually pointing me that I'm in India. Similarly, you look at the Shastra as the GPS, Bhagavatam, and then it tells you where you really are, who you really are. And it is a relative position. You'll understand this is all the possibilities that I have to be, and this is where I am. So we must understand this point that we have to change ourselves. This is not normal. Bhagavatam is there to disrupt your normal. And people will get disappointed when we disrupt their normal, and it will not be a comfortable thing to be disrupted. It is not easy to feel disrupted. But the goal is to feel disrupted. A disciple means one who invites disruption voluntarily from a spiritual master. To be agreeing to voluntarily be disrupted, you tell the spiritual master, please disrupt my life. This is basically being a disciple. You're voluntarily agreeing to make your life inconvenient. Okay? Please make my life more uncomfortable so that I can be perpetually comfortable. This is what is Bhagavatam. You see? So, and it requires that we finish our rounds, prescribed number of rounds early in the morning, just like you're doing today, right? Fix the prescribed number of rounds. Finish it. It is a challenge. Yes, the mind will revolt. Yes, it has revolted for so long. It's a battle. And our friends are the devotees and the sadhus and the guru, the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavajans. And if you struggle hard right now, you'll be happy when you die. You'll be grateful. Thank God I braved through those cold baths. Thank God I braved through those tough times. Thank God I woke up early in the morning and chanted my rounds. Thank God I came to the Bhagavatam class. Thank God. Yes, you'll feel very happy when you die. Thinking about the years, you'll have great moments to think about where you braved and fought your false identities and you came out. You'll be very happy when you think back. But if you want to have a comfortable life, if I want to have a comfortable life, I will never have any good moments to cherish. I will not have any moments to be proud about. So the good news is that there is someone behind all of this where you are, and that is covered by Rajastamo Bhavam. And when we are Sitam Sattve Prasidati, when we are situated in pure existence, we are now situated on the platform of non-existence. Whatever is coming out is not me. Okay? Whatever is coming out of you is not you. Whatever is coming out of me is not me. It's true. I could think I'm speaking. But you know what? I cannot speak. Right? It is the energy of the Supreme Lord that is manifesting through me, that is speaking. If I'm sincere enough, that energy of the Lord acts in wonderful ways and brings wonderful words out of my mouth. If I've served Nam, the holy name, properly today in the morning, during my morning japa, then the right words will come up with so much strength that you cannot say no to what I'm saying. The holy name will speak, I will not speak. The holy name will speak and will make you agree to everything I'm saying and you will follow what I'm saying. But if I've not served the holy name properly, then my words will not have any power. I will speak, but you will think I'll do something else. My words will not have power. Right? So in this way, we don't speak what we speak. We don't act. We are completely under the control of the modes. And you can realize this when you are in Sattva Guna. When you become a little completely silent, when your mind becomes completely silent, you can actually observe and appreciate how much we are controlled by the material nature. And God will no longer be an illusion. God will no longer be a matter of doubt. You can see like the sun. Yes, God exists and I'm being controlled. It will be here and now as an experience. So, evam Prasanna-manasa, when our identity is experienced like that, Prasanna-manasa, Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha, we will become enlivened by Krishna consciousness. So this point of being freed from all identities and realizing myself as eternity, I exist. When you realize you are existing, there is no problem in this world. Actually, there is no problem because you are eternal. You are eternal. There is no problem. What is the problem? I am eternal, actually. There is no death for me. There is no end for me. The end and death and changes are only to the mind and the body. So when we realize this, I am actually eternal. That I has never undergone change is right now also never undergoing change. It appears as if it's undergoing change. We are associating with our mind and body. We are associating with our mind during dream. And we are thinking that I'm in India, I am here, I am there. And we are associating with the body during external waking stage. And we are thinking I'm walking, I'm eating, and all of that. So during dream, you're associating with your mind. And during waking stage, you're associating with your body. And you're going through different states of consciousness. But outside of all these states of consciousness is the pure state of consciousness of being Brahman, of understanding you're actually not anything of that, but you're pure spirit soul. In that stage of pure peace, that is called being a Brahmana. Brahmana means where you actually realize Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. You know effortlessly you are eternal. There is no effort in Jnanam. Jnana means there is no effort. Do I have any effort in understanding that there is, what do you say? The sun is hot. No, there is no effort. I know effortlessly the sun is hot. I know effortlessly you are in Auburn Hills. That is Ajnanam. That is another thing. But I'm saying to realize I am eternal effortlessly, this is the stage of being a topmost Brahmana. Now, Prabhupada is saying this purport. When you're situated in that stage of being a Brahmana, The stage of being a devotee comes next. Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. I can understand what is Bhagavat Tattva as a matter of Vijnanam, as a matter of scientific knowledge. Tattva Vijnan. It doesn't say here Bhagavat, to understand Bhagavan is a mental transformation. It is not saying you'll cry. No. It is saying Bhagavat Tattva Vijnan. We understand the science of God. Bhagavat Tattva. Tattva means science. Vijnan means to understand. Bhagavan is Bhagavat. Yes, Bhagavan, the Lord. Bhagavan, Bhagavat, Tattva Vijnanam. So, if we understand something about the Lord, it is not different from seeing the Lord. There is no difference between knowing something and then seeing something. Let's walk through that scenario, okay? When you go subtle and subtle, let's see what happens, okay? So, you are touching water right now, but it is not the same as drinking water. So when the most external manifestation of sense objects, there is a great deal of difference between touching something and tasting something. Is it not? Now let's go a little more subtler. So you're thinking about water. No, when you're looking at water, now there is a difference between tasting mango and eating mango. So when you talk about tasting water, so things become a little more simpler, where if you are say tasting water, and let's not go by taste. Earth, water, fire. Okay. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Okay. So then the Rasa of the water and Gandha of the water, there is not great difference. Rasa and Gandha, because water doesn't have any smell, right, in its natural form. Earth has smell, right? So when there is rain, you can see the smell. And if you go even further, fire, there is something called tasting fire, or there is nothing called rasa of the fire. You can't eat fire, you can't think fire. So as things go a more subtler and subtler, you don't perceive air and its attributes so separately. Air and the attributes are separate, but you don't perceive them so separately. So the separation of substance and attributes becomes less and less prominent. Less and less prominent as you become subtler. And when you go to even ether, what will you tell of ether? Can you feel ether? You can't feel ether. Can you touch ether? Can you touch space? You can't touch space. Can you see space? You can't see space. At least you can feel air. But can you feel space? You can't feel space. What can you do about space? You can do anumanam that space existing. Anuman karna padega, correct? Because all these things are existing, there must be ether. You can do anumanam. Is it not? You can't see it. But so to see ether means to do anumanam of ether. That is the level of thing you can actually touch ether. You can't touch it in a physical sense, but it exists. Similarly, can you touch your mind? No, you can experience the functions of the mind. To know the functions of the mind is to know the mind. Okay? To know the functions of the mind is to know the mind. Right? You can see it is being carried. Something is going very fast within me. What is that? That is the mind. That is the mind. Something is going and getting attached. What is that? So when you're little observant, you can observe your breathing. When a little observant, you can observe your mind. Little more observant, you can how your intelligence is rationalizing it. So in this way, you can know all that is happening inside you. So when they'll come to a point where this is the spiritual subject matter. I'm just talking about the gray areas here. So there is black, which is the material world, and there is white, which is Krishna. Okay, I'm just talking about the gray areas right now. The gray areas is what lies between the grossest matter and the subtlest of spirit. Okay, the gray areas are what exists in the water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, all this vagera. So when you are studying these substances, two things are there. One is that the difference between substance and attributes are not so prominent. And the second thing is that there is no difference between knowledge of that object and that object itself as you go more and more finer, right? When it comes, I wouldn't say that when you go finer, there is less difference. When it comes to the spirit aspect, the knowledge itself is that object. Okay? Krishna himself is knowledge. That is the meaning of saying Sachidananda Vigrahaya Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Sat Chit Ananda Vigraham. Krishna himself is made of knowledge only. Krishna is made of eternity. Krishna is body itself is Anandamayam. Amazing. So there is no difference between knowing Krishna, understanding Krishna's existence, and understanding the Ananda of Krishna and meeting Krishna. They are the same. Because we ourselves are made of awareness. We are not made of activity. That is what Prabhupada is saying. We are not a product of matter. Because we are not a product of matter, we are not a function of our material activities also. It might appear a little technical, but if you analyze this, it will become very exciting. Because right now, we are associating with our activities. Okay? I feel I cooked this, I'm very good. I spoke the class today, I'm very good. I ate this, I ate very nicely. We are identifying that my activities are me. Whatever I do is me. That defines me. Okay? Whatever this body does defines me. Like I told in the beginning. But the thing is, if you go a very little deeper, you'll understand these activities are carried out by the modes, and you can observe this. If you are chanting, if you are even striving to control your mind during chanting, you'll actually understand you are separate from all these activities that are being pushed by your previous samskaras. You are separate from these activities, but the modes are pushing you, and your karma is pushing you. And I am not those activities. So, point being is that we are of the nature of knowledge. And we are of the nature of knowledge because we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is also of the nature of pure knowledge. And so, you cannot be, Prabhupada is saying a very beautiful point here, amazing point, Prabhupada is saying, a pure devotee, I think it says in the previous purport, I think, a devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. You cannot say, I am a devotee, but don't ask me many questions. I cannot answer them. That means I'm not a devotee. You cannot say, I'm very agitated, but I'm still a devotee. I'll give nice Bhagavatam class, but I'm very agitated. I cannot be a devotee. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. I'm advertising devotees as outside dress, but criteria Prabhupada is saying, harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. Ek Krishna bhaje she bada chatur. Whoever is worshipping Krishna, they are very, very intelligent. So, because Krishna is of the nature of pure intelligence, and the Shakti is Chinmaya Shakti, Samvit Shakti, you cannot come to a point of realizing Krishna without knowing knowledge. You have to know Krishna. Know means not a matter of opinion anymore, not a matter of mental adjustment anymore. You know something. To know means to experience. And that experience is revealed to us when we surrender. When we surrender, what happens? This Rajastamo Bhavam is pulled away from the beginning, from the root. From the root, it is pulled away. What happens? How does Tamo Bhavam get pulled away by surrender? I'll just mention this and conclude. Tamo Bhavam is pulled away by surrender when we understand we are not independent. The root of Tamas is that I'm independent. So when you depend on Krishna, Krishna, you exist. I need you in my life. That is a tapad, tak, 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 tak to Tamoguna. And Tamoguna has to go to sleep now because you are telling Krishna, I need you in my life. I exist. Yes, but I am suffering because of my mind. This is Sattva-guna now. You are telling Krishna something knowledgeable. You are telling Krishna, yes, I am suffering. Or you tell Krishna, Krishna, I am supposed to be suffering. I'm suffering, but I'm supposed to realize this, but I'm not realizing it. Somewhere you start this honesty to Krishna. This will destroy Tamoguna. And because you are wanting to serve Krishna instead of wanting to enjoy, Rajoguna is destroyed. Rajoguna is destroyed. And because you don't want to speculate and you want to depend on Krishna, that sattva, which is mixed with the Rajas and Tamas and expresses itself in the material world as speculation, as imagination, that also is destroyed. So when you chant Hare Krishna mantra, the 19th shloka and 20th shloka can completely this might appear like lots of lifetimes. This might appear like that, but don't be fooled, my dear devotees. Mercy of Nityananda Prabhu knows no bounds. These 2 shlokas can be completed in maybe 2 mantras also. Or it can be completed in 2 rounds also. Or it can be completed in 2 days of 16 rounds also. Depends on how eager you are. If you surrender in 2 mantras, yes, Krishna, this will not work. Like Krishna immediately reveal himself to you. So this can happen anytime. It happens at the pace we want it to happen. Okay, if you want a long pace, it will happen long. It can be like a switch also. It can be like a switch also. Depends on what we want. And how do we want this? By hearing. Right? So you express your want during chanting and you cultivate that want by hearing. Okay? So Krishna will not teach us what to desire, how to desire. That we get by association. Okay? By association, we get the desire, and chanting, we express that desire. When you express the desire to Krishna, you realize. And Bhagavad Tattva Vijnan, it is no longer information, it is realization. That is why devotees go through so much. Why? Because they have realized that they are not able to give up Krishna consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj was begged to be given up Krishna consciousness. He couldn't give up. Because it is a matter of realization. So this Vaishnava is not so easy. It is a topmost, it is not cheap. I wouldn't say it's not easy. It's not cheap. It's topmost stage, even after the stage of being a Brahmana, beyond Sattva-guna. So we can become Prasanna-manasa. As soon as you come to the point of realizing we are eternal, we'll become very Prasanna, we'll become very happy. And then you will realize God as if, as He is, as an absolute truth, without any doubt. And that next sloka is very beautiful. Mukta sangasya jayate. You'll be freed from all that has been robbing you, that is holding you, in prison. Mukta sangha. All that is, pulling you, pushing you, you are free. Right? The day of freedom has come, and now you can enjoy with the Lord for eternity. Okay? And you've seen the Lord, you have met the Lord, you can associate with the Lord, and that is the state we are all waiting to experience. Okay? So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments on it?
Sir, to your original question, if all the tamas and rajas is taken off, is sattva not going to enter in, or how is that? We become.
Sorry, could you be a little louder?
So your original initial question, when rajas and tamas is taken out, and then it will be through you or through me, right? I thought that was the point. The through me, would it be the Brahman realization, or would it be beyond Sattva Guna? I don't know. Sorry, maybe
So,
two different.
Good question. So when Rajas and Tamas is completely taken away from me, what do I realize? Is it Brahman or Bhagavan realization? So it depends on what my means are to remove the Rajas and Tamo Bhava. Okay? And what is my intent in removing the Rajas and Tamo Bhava? if my intent in removing Rajas Tamo Bhavam is that I want to simply be peaceful, okay, then it will be Brahman realization. If my intent in removing Rajas Tamo Bhavam is a little more mixed with a little bhakti, of course, there is a desire to serve a little mildly, but yes, then it will be realization of the Paramatma within our heart, as what the yogis realize. If it is an explicit desire to serve the Lord, because it is the same vastu, okay, when you remove Rajas Tamo Bhavam completely, okay, what exists is that Advaya Vastu, that one entity. That is that Vastu that is existing. There are no twos, okay? That one Vastu is what is existing when you remove Rajas Tamo Bhava. Okay, when the clouds are departed, there is only one sun. And that same sun can be realized as sun rays or sun disk or the sun globe. Similarly, that same Advaya Vastu only is existing when the Rajas Tamo Bhavam is removed. That Vastu, dependent on the maturity of the person who's seeing, is seen differently, okay, based on their attitude. Okay, so if some people perceive that Advaya Vastu as simply Kevala Jnana Bodham, simply as pure consciousness, or they perceive this Advaya Vastu as that which has all its Shaktis, if they are interested in the Aishwarya Bhavam of the Lord, or they perceive the same Advaya Vastu in the form of the spiritual world where this person is performing his pastimes. Depends. Okay. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. There's one more question, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, Sattva Guna, is there like two levels of Sattva Guna? Like, for example, they say if you do one type of Sattva activities, you get good karma. And then they also say that in you should do Sattva Guna such that there is no karmic reaction, right? Like, so is there two levels, or is just that one is it's misunderstood? Or
Yeah, good question, Prabhu. Thank you. So, in the material world, Sattva Guna is traditionally mixed with Rajoguna. Okay, so and it is employed in the service of Rajoguna, not otherwise. So, like for instance, when we talk about Dharma, Artha, Kama, so Dharma is Sattva, but it is usually employed in the service of Artha and Kama. So, I do Dharma to get Artha and Kama. So, that Sattva Guna, which is materialistically contaminated with Rajas and Tamas, yields to Punya. Okay, yields to good pious credits. But that Sattva Guna, which is devoid of Rajas and Tamas, usually leads to Sattvada Sanjayate Jnanam. It leads to knowledge about the temporality of this world. Is it clear?
yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, if no one has any more questions, thank you, devotees, for your association. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Vancha Kalpatarubhishta Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha, Patanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.